Hello, wonderful people, and a huge, warm welcome to today's video. It is an absolute joy to have you here. Before we dive into this surprising and fascinating topic, I want to take a genuine moment to send my very best wishes to you and your loved ones. Wherever you are in the world, I truly hope you are feeling strong, healthy, and full of positive energy. Now, let's talk about a fact that sounds like it could be from a cartoon, but is backed by real data and police reports from around the globe. Cheese is the most stolen food in the world. Yes, you heard that right. More than any other item in the grocery store, more than expensive electronics or luxury goods, it is the humble block of cheese that most often disappears without being paid for. This isn't just a quirky statistic. It's a window into economics, psychology, and the very nature of how we value certain foods in our society. The story of why cheese is so frequently stolen is a tale of high value, relative size, and a black market that might be operating right in your local supermarket. To understand this phenomenon, we first have to look at the data. Multiple reports from retail security firms and police agencies in countries like the United Kingdom, France, and the United States have consistently shown that cheese is a top target for shoplifters. In the UK, for example, a study by the Centre for Retail Research found that cheese is among the most stolen items, alongside meat and alcohol. But why? What makes cheese so special? The first and most straightforward reason is its high value relative to its size. A good block of cheese, especially aged or artisan varieties like Parmigiano Reggiano, Manchego, or a strong Stilton, can be quite expensive. It's not unusual for a single block to cost $15, $20, or even $30. For a shoplifter, this represents a significant value that can be easily concealed in a jacket, a bag, or even down a pair of pants. Compare this to other expensive foods. A large cut of prime steak might be more expensive, but it's also bulkier, harder to hide, and often kept in a monitored meat counter. A bottle of liquor is valuable, but it's heavy, clinky, and difficult to steal without drawing attention. A small, dense block of cheese, however, is the perfect size and weight for a quick, discreet grab. It's the perfect storm of high value and high portability. But the value isn't just monetary. Cheese holds a unique place in our culture and our diets. It's a staple food, but it's also a luxury item. It's a source of protein and calories, making it desirable for people who might be struggling with food insecurity. At the same time, its complex flavors and artisanal varieties make it a status symbol. This dual identity makes it a target for a wide range of people. For someone who is hungry and cannot afford food, a block of cheese is a nutrient-dense, satisfying item that can provide several meals. For a more organized criminal, it's a commodity that can be easily resold on a black market. This is the second major reason for its high theft rate, a thriving resale market. Stolen cheese doesn't usually end up on someone's personal dinner table. Instead, it often enters a shadow economy. Shoplifters, often working in groups, will steal large quantities of cheese and then sell it to unscrupulous corner shops, restaurants, or at flea markets for a fraction of its retail price. These buyers turn a blind eye to where the products came from because they are getting a huge discount. This creates a constant demand, which in turn fuels more theft. It's a cycle that is very difficult for retailers to break. The methods used to steal cheese are as varied as the cheeses themselves. Some shoplifters work alone, using specially modified bags with hidden compartments lined with foil to bypass security sensors. Others work in sophisticated teams that create distractions while one person quickly clears a shelf of its most expensive products. Some even use more brazen methods, like the famous case of the cheese bandits who would back a truck up to a warehouse and load it with pallets of expensive cheese worth tens of thousands of dollars. For these professional thieves, cheese is treated like any other high-value commodity, like cigarettes or electronics. The response from retailers has been to treat cheese with a level of security once reserved for electronics. In many supermarkets, especially in areas with high theft rates, you will now find blocks of expensive cheese locked behind glass cases, tagged with security devices that will sound an alarm if not deactivated at the checkout, and placed in highly visible, well-monitored areas of the store. This is a direct result of the sheer volume of cheese that walks out the door unpaid for every year. The cost of this theft, known as shrink in the retail industry, is enormous. These losses are ultimately passed on to the consumer in the form of higher prices for everyone. So, in a way, we are all paying for the stolen cheese. The psychology behind stealing cheese is also fascinating. Unlike stealing a non-essential item, stealing food feels different to people. There's a twisted logic that somehow justifies it. A person might think, I need to eat, and this is food, which creates a weaker internal barrier against theft than stealing a television would. This doesn't make it right, of course, but it helps explain why otherwise law-abiding people might be tempted to pocket a block of cheese. The very fact that it is a fundamental food item lowers the perceived risk and moral hesitation for some. Furthermore, cheese is often not seen as belonging to a large, faceless corporation in the same way a packaged good might be. It feels more artisanal, more natural, and somehow less owned, which can subconsciously make it seem like a less serious thing to steal. This phenomenon of cheese theft is more than just a crime statistic. It's a reflection of our complex relationship with food, value, and ownership. It shows how something as simple as a dairy product can become a focal point for larger issues of economic disparity, organized crime, and retail security. So the next time you're in the dairy aisle, admiring the vast selection of cheddars, goudas, and bries, remember that you are looking at one of the most coveted and controversial products in the store. It's a food that is loved by millions and desired so intensely that some are willing to break the law to get it. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the unexpected world of cheese crime. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next video.